All right, let's go to a question right here. What's your question?
Thank you. Just about something you guys were talking about what really drove you, and it was that, let's find out, trying to prove people. How much would you say the concept of lying had an effect on that, if any? Truth seems to be a lot of, what you do, whether it turns to be, debunking nutrition myths and stuff like that. So was there any part of it that was like, hey, you guys are lying by saying that I can't do that? Or, just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's lying, but more like
I don't believe you.
Yeah,
Would that be fair?
Also, like, the message growing up from the bullying was very much like, you're not worthy, you can't do these things, you're not going to be anything. And so I am not saying that I dealt with that in the healthiest manner, which was, basically 2 middle fingers and I'm going to prove you wrong, right? But I think we all cope in our own sort of unhealthy way to start, and then we learn later. But I do think there is something with, like, people think action follows motivation, and I think actually it's usually the reverse. I think you do the action first and then the motivation comes later, right? The reason for me starting that probably wasn't the healthiest in terms of psychology, right? Like, I'm going to prove you wrong. But I did eventually become internally motivated. You do one hard thing, and then you do another harder thing, and then another harder thing. And then you look up 10 years later and you go, oh man, God, that was a lot. That was crazy that I did that thing. Right?
That's right. I'm sitting here right now and I feel like I've got to point out that there's so many people in this world that are looking for mental toughness, right? Mental toughness is a hot topic.
Sure.
And you're Mr. Correlation guy. I got to say, if you want to be more mentally tough, do something that makes you physically tough.
Go look at Jocko Willink.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
good answer.
Yeah, I mean, but I always tell people, if all you got from lifting weights was a good physique and stronger, you missed the real lessons. You missed the real lessons. Because it's like you said, the physical toughness you can put into something else, right? And it's that confidence thing. I didn't get more, getting stronger is nice. Getting bigger muscles is nice. But that's not what made me more confident. What made me more confident was having to work through setbacks. Like, even before that world championship, like, I had multiple back issues. I actually wasn't even able to I had to stop squatting and deadlifting for like 8 weeks. I didn't even really pick it back up till about 6 weeks out from the meet. And it was a lot to get through. I had so many like false starts, so many failed comebacks. And even I started questioning, is this going to happen again? And I just kept thinking, I'm still passionate about this. I still want to make it happen. If there comes a time where I'm no longer passionate about it, then I'll allow myself to change course. But I still want this, so I'm going to keep showing up and assume that we'll fit these puzzle pieces together and make it work. Like, that just
keeps stacking.
That's
just one other confidence brick on top of another confidence brick.
Because I was like, literally, there were days where I couldn't even stand up. Like, couldn't stand up without 10 out of 10 pain. And so you can never in that moment conceptualize, emotions are tough. Emotions are like pain. In fact, modern pain science has more or less characterized pain as kind of an emotional experience. And when you're in an emotional state, it's very difficult to take yourself outside that and imagine anything else, right? Like, when you're sad, it's hard to imagine being happy again. When you're in pain, it's hard to imagine not being in pain. And so I think I was able to draw on, okay, there's been so many other times where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to work this out, but it worked out. So I'm just going to keep coming and assume that it will work itself out. And it did.
Do you ever get emotionally overwhelmed?
Oh yeah, all the time.
After a competition, all that hardship, and you win a world championship after all that. Have you ever found yourself sobbing somewhere, going, "This was really worth it, just to push myself"?
Yeah, in 2022, afterwards, there's a photo of me after I won. I was just like, there's like a warm up area, and I'm just like over a squat rack. Hands over the bar, and I'm smiling, but I'm like, and I'm just thinking about like everything that led up to that,
I can imagine. Wow.
And I got another picture of me and Ben hugging, again, he's not like a real complimentative guy, but he's given me some of the best compliments. And
that has to be one of the greatest things you've ever heard. Just for me, just hearing that was incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
What I learned is it's normal to be frustrated by the process. It's normal to feel upset some days, but like my fondest memories are not the accomplishment itself. It's thinking back to all the stuff that sucked. That's the stuff I remember. That's what made it meaningful. Babe Ruth said, it's hard to beat a man who won't quit.
That's right.
And so I tell people all the time, you can have a big goal, you can do everything right, maybe it doesn't work out. But you know what? I bet if you work really hard and you don't quit, you're going to be better off than you would have been otherwise.
Things
right?
will turn out okay.
Yeah.
I love that.